Good morning. Welcome to episode 8 of That Morning Cup. Cheers. So I have really good news I want to talk about. Okay. And that is I officially, knock on wood, am back into running. I was able to run this week, the past 2 days. I maybe shouldn't have ran today. That might not have been the greatest idea. I ran 3 miles yesterday. There was pretty substantial pain in my left knee and my right hamstring. My shit's not fully recovered, but it's manageable enough pain. And the pleasure is outweighing the pain here. I could theoretically push through it. I don't know about a whole marathon push through it, but we're like 10 weeks away, and I have no more time to spare, and I need to get moving here. I can't just sit. It was giving me too much anxiety thinking of how far behind I am, So, yesterday I decided to go test out the old knees. Gave it a shot. It wasn't terrible. Didn't go super fast. I just didn't even look at the pace. I ran with what I felt comfortable with at the time, and I didn't want to push it too hard and do even more damage. And then today, after my workout, I was like, can I maybe run again? So after my lift, I ran again, and I didn't set a certain amount of miles or anything. And I started very slow and just kind of ran until I was like, all right, that's good enough. And I ran 4 miles today, and I think I averaged a 9:30 pace. But yesterday, I think I averaged 8:50 or something, which isn't terrible for not running for 2-3 weeks. Or I think I ran a mile and a half or 2.5 miles collectively in the past 2 or 3 weeks. But I did notice running on a nice bouncy treadmill, the certain type of treadmills, not the old school, just ground and pound treadmills, but the new hybrid type bouncy ones, actually felt better on my legs than the pavement or the concrete. But it felt really good, and I never thought in a million years I would be so ecstatic to be running again. But it was one of those things where it being taken away from me allowed me to realize wow, I actually do enjoy the post-run feeling. I don't necessarily enjoy the running in the moment. I don't love it yet. But after I'm done running, I feel pretty decent. I feel pretty good. And the fact that was stripped away from me and I couldn't just go run without immense pain, I was like, wow, when I'm able to run again, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm not going to take it for granted. And I've been cheesing the past 2 days, being able to run. And that's just mind-blowing that I'm saying that, because I notoriously hate running. But I like the way it makes me feel now. And I think I just have crippling anxiety with the fact that I have a marathon in 10 weeks, and I'm very ill prepared for that. Very, very far behind. Man, it's been a hectic week. I've been doing a lot of reading, though. But just with work and that, I haven't had much time to do much else but work, eat, gym, and read. I was thinking the other day at work just about vices and such. Why are people drawn to vices? And obviously, we know that the biggest thing is it gets people out of the reality that they're in, right? You have addiction. I don't know why I said it like that, I'm discrediting addiction, saying it's not a serious thing, but you have, physical and chemical addictions to things, but certain things, let's talk not about drugs or whatnot, but let's talk about food and such, or not food rather, but social media and that. That is a vice at the end of the day. And why are we so quick to just stay on it for forever, right? And we know it's hindering our life experience. We definitely have a different outcome. We definitely have a different path of life than before the invention of the telephone or even computer and whatnot. and TV even, because yes, the problem is much more significant because we have the device right in our phone, or right in our pocket rather. But I mean, there was TVs before phones and all that. It's just you couldn't pick your TV up and take it to work with you, or take it literally anywhere with you. And I was just thinking a lot about why are we, it almost seems like it's instinctual, like it's innate in us to just drown hours and hours and hours and become consumed by these screens and this media. And I think it's a really good reality suppressant. You don't have to face your problems with phones and that. And then I thought, is this, a crazy, not assumption, but is this a crazy idea or thought? I was like, I wonder, now stay with me here. I wondered, okay, because studies are showing that drinking is on the decline, right? And is that to do with, like, now that vaping and such and weed's legal? Are people just using that instead and they're not really concerned about boozing? Is the culture around boozing changed? Or was alcohol the predecessor to screens and that? It was the quickest way and the easiest way somebody could escape the misery that they're in, right? And I thought to myself, I'm like, are screens the new alcohol, in the sense that, like, you could go home, like alcoholics would go home from work and just sit on their screens and forget about the day, right? Or whatever's bothering them, their traumas, their childhood, whatnot. Do people do that with screens now? Is that why people are not turning to alcohol? Because they're just, without even realizing it, subconsciously doing it with screens? But then, we have that raises the other question. Is alcohol consumption down just because it seems like people are indoors more? We're much more introverted. And is that because of screens? People aren't going out to bars and whatnot, consuming the alcohol. But it was kind of a little dumb idea that I'm like, is there some substance to that? Are people staying indoors, which obviously will affect the alcohol consumption, but are people not getting alcohol because they're just drowning out and distracting themselves with the consumption of whatever media or social media or whatnot? Movies, TV, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It'll suck you in and it'll keep you distracted for hours upon hours, and you won't even know it until your phone's burning your hand. It's like it's another vehicle and another vice that allows us to escape the reality and not face the truths of the world. And is it it's not looked at nearly as bad, obviously, as alcoholism. Like, there's a name for alcoholism. What's there for just being chronically on your phone? Just a chronic screen viewer? Like, what would you even consider that? And there's so many justifiable things you could say if people press you on the opinion, or press you on their opinion of your screen time. You hear all the time people like, well, I use it for work, and I'm actually doing this on it to sharpen my brain. I do a meditating thing on the phone, or yada, yada, yada. And then you go into their screen time, and Instagram's 4 hours out of their 6 hours on their phone. Well, 6 hours is low, I think. I think the average is like almost 8 now. And so they could justify it. It's almost like an alcoholic. I don't have a drinking problem. It's like, I don't have a phone problem. I'm only on it for 9.5 hours a day, but I use it for work. And it is genuinely ripping us straight out of the experience of what life is. You're not getting the full effect of this ride that we have on this planet. And we only go around it once. unless we come back as something different, you know. Maybe I'll come back as a cockroach. Maybe I'll come back as an ant, which I read a lot about ants today. And that's for next video, because I really want to gather my thoughts on ants. So look forward to episode 9, because we're going to be talking a lot about ants, because ants are extremely fascinating, and I never realized that. And we'll hit you with a quick fact. The weight of all the ants on planet Earth, it's predicted, is equal to humans. And if you were able to take humans and you were able to stack them like logs, they would make like a cube that's no longer than a mile on any side, right? And ants would be roughly the same. Ants. They're predicting that it was a weird number, 10,000 trillion ants on planet Earth. And with their social complexity, they're like second to humans. They're like right there with humans. But that's for next video. We're not going to go too deep into that. Where was I at? Back to reality. These phones are ruining the experience, I think. Can they enhance it? Yes. I mean, information is at it's more available than it's ever been in the entire existence of history, right? Like, while I'm reading, I think about it all the time. While I'm reading, and there's a word that I might not understand, it's like, people used to have to go crack open a dictionary. Like, even when I was in school, when I was in grammar school, they used to train you how to find shit in a dictionary. And then I think about when you're really trying to learn a subject, it's like, man, you had to go and get so many books on just one subject if you want to learn that. Like quantum mechanics, right? You used to have to just go get so many books and read all the books just to find even the newest or the oldest information. Then you have to decipher, okay, when was this book written? When was this book written? And it's like, this book was written in the 60s. This was the 80s. Is what's in the book in the 60s wrong? Because now, you know, science has evolved and we've figured out that this was wrong or this was right, and yada, yada, yada. And then I think, if you just had a question in the world, like, how many ants are there on planet Earth? You would have to just luckily, like, stumble across this book in your, like, why would you ever think this book would have that answer? But, you know, or you would find a book on ants, whatnot, you know, and you have to read that whole book, and at some point you might find the answer. Now you just look it up. And that I mean, I have a theory on that we don't retain information as much because we don't have to do so much labor to receive the answer. So if you have just a little query in your mind and you think, okay, let me look it up, you look it up, you have the answer immediately. There's no solid foundation to it. Now, back in the day, if I want to know how many ants there were, that would eat me up. Like, how many ants are there? And you're getting so much more information trying to find your answer. I mean, if you have to read through a whole book on ants to find the answer, you're going to, through osmosis, you know, even if you don't really comprehend what you're reading, you're just trying to find that one answer, you're going to retain some information. So when you do find that answer, there's such a solid foundation than just an instant, got a mustache hair in my mouth, an instant gratification of, how many ants are there on Earth? How many ants are there? Oh, 10,000 trillion, right? And I think it just, right in one ear, right out the other, or right through your eyeballs, through the back of your head. I don't think we retain it as much, and I think it's much harder. I think there's a lot of reasons, you know, that are really working against us here with information retention and comprehension. We just have chronic distraction going on. I mean, I'm even guilty of it. Like, today I was getting a little runner brain there, and not physical runner, but my brain was running off, it felt like. And I was like, all right, I got to chew some gum. And I stopped hammering the coffee for a little bit, because gum and coffee don't mix super well, although I continued to sip a little bit. I quit hammering the coffee so I could chew gum, just to keep myself busy and keep myself focused. And that helped a lot. But we turn to things like nicotine and Adderall and all that to keep us focused. It's like, what did we do 30 years ago? What did people do? Imagine before lo-fi music, and I'm guilty of it. I love to listen to some lo-fi while I read and stuff. Or classical compilations and such. Look up music for reading. And sometimes I if I enjoy the book enough, I'm like, okay, let me test myself. I'll try and sit in just complete silence. I live in a hectic house, though, so that's not always available to me. And it's kind of a luxury, and you got to take advantage of it. But I forget what I was even saying now about information. Oh, I was talking about the phones and social media. Like an old head. I do think I haven't been on social media. I forget what time I quit all that last year. I had track of it in months. Like I would do month 1, month 2, month 3, and then I completely forgot. But it's got to be like 8 months now or something that I haven't had anything but YouTube on my phone. I haven't had Twitter since like junior year of high school. I got rid of Snapchat like right after high school. TikTok I was on and off because I'm like, oh, I'm going to start posting on TikTok. And then I would download it and then I'd post like 2 videos. Then I'd delete it again. That I haven't had in probably 2-3 years. And I think I'm way better off for it. And I think everybody would be way better off for it. I don't think we need to be completely, absent from it. Because it could be a positive, right? And we can't just go back to the Stone Age. But I think if we use it in moderation, obviously, and we cannot become so fucking wrapped up in it. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's like you need to still live your life. And I hate pulling up to a stoplight and looking to my right or my left or whatnot, and I see people on their phone. It's like, we can't even sit at stoplights anymore without peering at our phone or scrolling. Like, I see people scrolling at that. I'm like, you're operating a 1-ton vehicle that can go 100 miles an hour. Or you're on the throughway, you look over and you see the top of somebody's head. Or you're running and you look up and you see the top of somebody. I'm like, driving, I should never see the top of your head, ever. It's like you're in a murder machine. Like, this thing could kill somebody. You're in a huge, just metal box that's flying down the street, and you're piloting it, and you're doing it distracted. Like, what? How does that even make sense? When I was younger, I was guilty of it. But it's like, I really thought about that. I'm like, all it takes is a split second, and it'll ruin your life if you get caught. If you hit somebody, there's accidents happen. But if you're on your phone and they can check and see if you're on your phone, like, you spend years in prison for that. It's like, go for and now with Bluetooth and that shit, you should never even have to touch your phone. It's like, if your attention is that just smoked that you have to immediately grab your phone and go like this at a stoplight, it's like, humanity's doomed. We are living in the end times. Or like, I don't know, when you delete social media, you're like, it's natural to not even be on your phone. Waiting in line somewhere, or obviously at stoplights, like, what am I gonna do? Scroll YouTube Shorts? Like, no. And I don't have anybody texting me. But there's certain places that you become more aware of, holy shit, everybody's just on their phone when you don't have social media on your phone. You don't have a period, right? Like, I deleted Facebook and that. I think to myself, like, what did people used to do? Like, what if you had to wait for the doctors or emergency room? You had to wait for an emergency room for 2-3 hours, 4 hours, 5. People just sat. You just sat. So that's where the benefit of phones can come from. Like, it is nice to kill time sometimes, but we should be able, as humans, to wait in a Starbucks line for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and not be on your phone. Like, look around. Observe the world. Look at people. I'm a huge people watcher. That kills so much time just sitting there staring at other people. Making your little judgments. Oh my God, I just spilt my fucking coffee. Oh no. Making your judgments or whatnot. We all judge. See somebody like, damn, That chick's shoes are fucking busted. Like, or he came on that outfit, you know, we all do that. Or this dude's fucking creepy. Let me keep an eye on this dude. You know, he might pull out a fucking bazooka in here. Damn, that's delicious. Probably shouldn't be drinking this because, you know, being completely transparent, it's like 6 o'clock at night. It is not in the morning. But I got a busy couple days here, and I took advantage of a little null period I had between meals and nobody's home right now, so it's quiet to film this. It's just a crazy world we're living in. It really is. So take that as a sign. Or take my advice. Get off social media. Unless it's YouTube and you're watching this and you're subscribing and you're liking and doing all that good stuff. But I do think YouTube is it could be the best social media if you use it correctly. I mean, there's so much informational shit on this. Like, you could learn anything on YouTube. I love it. Like, it single-handedly has carried mine and Riley's business. I mean, we did a paver job last year that we didn't know how to do, but we just YouTubed it, bro. I just have been watching YouTube videos on paver or retaining walls for like the past 2-3 years, and we couldn't figure out how to cut the caps. YouTube. Anything wrong with my car? YouTube. If there's any problem I run into, YouTube. And then you run into stuff that, I mean, once it's in your algorithm, and it's something you're interested, like with books and reading and education and literature and history and science and anything, like YouTube will feed you some great videos as long as you're interacting with them and it hits your algorithm. And just like the most weird, like, what's that dude's YouTube? Oh, Vsauce. I didn't get through all the video, but like he has a video like, what is it? What is a chair? And he just breaks down like what is anything. He was on Alex O'Connor's podcast, which is a really interesting podcast. I like go recommend him to everybody. Specifically that one with Vsauce, and they talk ad nauseum about what is a chair, right? And then they just talk about all things philosophy, you know, cloning people and all this, and then like, you know, what is a chair? Well, a chair is a thing, you know, or a table. What's a table? A table is 4 legs and a top, but it's like, okay, if we take away a leg, is it still a table? And how many legs do you have to take away before it doesn't become a table? And then they say, like, okay, what, you know, simple questions like, if you cut the left half of the table away, is it still the table? Does it become 2 tables then, or is it 1 table? A bikini is like, it's 2 separate things technically. It's a top and a bottom, but it's 1 bikini. Now, if you take a top from 1 bikini and a bottom from a different bikini, and you wear it at the same time, are you wearing 1 bikini or are you wearing 2 bikinis now? And it's just like, where's that line? And they get into deeper things about like humans and what's human and what isn't human and what are we? You know, for a long time, like it's, I mean, what's that theory called? Where they thought we didn't have inner voices. We didn't think the way we think. I think it's 1,000 years ago, humans started to not think with a higher being around them, but they thought like me, myself, like I made this decision. And they talk about the Iliad, the Iliad, how nobody talks about they make a decision themselves. What, I'm going down a rabbit hole here. You got to listen to the podcast. It's super interesting, very philosophical, and it makes your brain like kind of scratch. And I think that's what led me to the alcohol and the social media type debate that I had in my own head. But it has sat with me for a while, and I've been really picking at it every so often. Every time I get a little downtime, thought about the whole time on the treadmill today. It's like, is there a correlation between alcohol sales being down and people chronically being on their phone? Is that the new alcohol? Is that the new vice that people are looking for to escape this? You're not facing your problems. It's such a great way to just drain any self-doubt, confidence issues, traumas, sadnesses, depressions, whatever. It's a great way to just drown all that out. I mean, it's an epidemic. And it's even for me, I fucking hate it sometimes. Where I'm like, I should read. I'm telling myself. And I enjoy reading, so I can't even think about the people that don't enjoy reading. You know, and I don't blame people that don't read. It's like, if you don't enjoy it, I couldn't even imagine trying to force yourself to do it, you know, because it's difficult for me sometimes. Because, like, man, I could watch this YouTube video that's so entertaining. But it's like, no, I'm going to sit in silence and read or listen to a beat and struggle through a book where I have to be so deliberate to understand it. I mean, there's people that could read lightning fast. Like, my girlfriend can read so fucking fast, and her comprehension is so good. But, like, she's in college. She's a top 5 in her class. She's brilliant. Okay, I'm just a big meathead idiot that's fumbling my way through these things, and I just enjoy it. But I'll sit on a page for a minute to fully grasp it. And like I did today, getting to where social media and just technology can be good, ChatGPT. I was like, let me see if this works. I typed in, give me a quiz on part 2 of The Social Conquest of Earth by Edward Wilson. Give me a multiple choice quiz. And ChatGPT did it. And then I was like, make it harder. You can make it harder. You could add in typed responses. You can make whatever type of quiz. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And that's what I was talking about earlier with, we have so much information at our fingertips. It's so readily available, and we're not taking advantage of it. It's like, bro, you can just... I haven't said bro in a while. That was, like, really weird for me. I don't think I've said bro. Maybe I've unconsciously said it, but I'm trying to not say bro because I think it sounds really dumb. And that just threw me off that I said bro. Kind of just completely distracted me and derailed me there. But getting back on course, you could pick any of these books and make a quiz on it. So, like, I was, like, going crazy with the books I read. I was making quizzes and shit on ChatGPT. I did find a lot of the answers were B. Like, I took, like, a 15 question quiz, and I think, like, I'm not even exaggerating, I think, like, 14 or 13 of them were B. So I typed into ChatGPT, don't make every answer B. Mix up the multiple choice. And it did. Craziness. But that's going to be all for today's video, or this week's video rather. I hope your guys' coffee was excellent. I have 1 sip in mine, well, about 2 sips. I hope everybody's week went well. I hope everybody's gearing up for the weekend, and like I've said many times before, use this weekend to set yourself up for success and to achieve your side hustles, whatever it may be. Don't use it just to waste away, and set yourself back and restart. Don't be Sisyphus, okay? And don't subject yourself to what Sisyphus was subjected to. You have free will, maybe, or not. I don't know. I'm undecided on free will and determinism yet, but let's just, for the sake of the conversation, say you have free will. You don't have to be Sisyphus. Choose your choices wisely and have a great weekend. I will talk to you guys next Friday. Peace.